The granddaughter bullies her grandmother for not understanding German and even insults her as a fool in German in front of the whole family. The family watches as the situation unfolds, and when someone asks what the child is doing, no one steps in to correct her. Instead, the daughter-in-law speaks in German as well, agreeing that the grandmother is just an ignorant old woman and telling the child not to argue with her. Even the son, who clearly understands German, does not defend his mother. Instead, he joins in by translating their insults into something that appears like praise in front of her. None of them realize that the woman they are humiliating is not only a once famous German professor, but also the chairwoman of a foundation worth hundreds of billions. After her husband's death, she inherited his estate, but, being unfamiliar with the foundation's affairs, she handed management over to a vice chairman. She later resigned from her teaching position and dedicated herself fully to her family. Over the years, she devoted herself to taking care of her son's household, while secretly helping him secure multiple investments through the foundation, all to protect his fragile pride. When her granddaughter returns from studying in Germany, the woman happily prepares a table full of the girl's favorite childhood dishes. However, the granddaughter rejects everything, saying that in Germany she only eats steak and salad and that the food is too greasy. Even when the grandmother tries to serve her chicken soup she has been cooking all morning, it is rejected again, and she is rudely told to eat her own food. At one point, the grandmother accidentally burns herself with the soup, and instead of concern, the daughter-in-law dismisses her in German again, calling her an ignorant old woman. At first, the woman ignores all of this, because every time she is disrespected, the family quietly speaks German among themselves. But this time, the granddaughter openly insults her in German, calling her a fool who cannot understand human speech. Although the son fully understands what is being said, he still does not defend his mother and instead sides with his wife and daughter. At this moment, the woman can no longer endure it and finally speaks out. Her words shock the entire family, as they realize she actually understands German. However, even after being exposed, the son dismisses her reaction, accusing her of making a scene and saying the granddaughter is just showing off a few phrases she learned abroad. The woman becomes furious and questions her son, asking whether his pride is more important than her dignity. But the daughter-in-law immediately scolds her, telling her not to be ungrateful and claiming she is just an old woman who only knows how to cook and clean, with no right to speak about dignity. The son also agrees with his wife, telling the woman not to forget who has been supporting her all these years. After 30 years of devotion to the family, the woman realizes she has been treated with nothing but disrespect and ingratitude. She loses her patience, throws the rejected food onto the ground, and declares that she will no longer eat there. She removes her apron and decides to leave the house, despite her son trying to stop her. The daughter-in-law mocks her, saying she is a poor old woman with no money or ability and will return within days begging for forgiveness. However, instead of struggling as they expected, the woman takes a taxi to a luxury 7-star hotel in the financial district. There, she uses a diamond black card she has not touched in years and books an executive suite. The hotel staff are shocked by her identity and immediately upgrade her to the presidential suite, assigning her multiple butlers and personal attendants. After resting, she instructs the hotel manager to contact her personal lawyer to determine the full extent of her assets. She learns that her late husband left her not only a foundation worth hundreds of billions, but also secret overseas accounts and a central city courtyard mansion. With full control of her wealth, her first action is to reclaim the luxury apartment registered in her name where her son's family lives, ordering an eviction within 1 day. She then freezes all bank accounts previously used by her son and stops all financial support. Finally, she informs the foundation that she will personally attend the next investment meeting as chairwoman. Meanwhile, back at her son's house, the family argues over household chores and assumes she is using leaving as a bluff. Confident she will soon run out of money and return, they continue their disrespect, completely unaware that the next morning, she wakes up peacefully in a 5-star hotel bed.